How to write a business book. Now, I love books. I like writing books, and I like the power that a book is inside of a business. It allows you to get more leads. It allows you to push your brand out. It allows you to nurture your existing list. And I'm excited in this video to show you when the correct time, I believe, is to actually start writing a business book. Let's dive in. All right, so I love business books a lot. There's two different flavors of them though. And I gotta say, I really think that it sucks to write a business book. There's one type. I'm actually gonna go on the whiteboard right here in a second and draw this out. There's one type that just drives me nuts. There's another type though that I think is very powerful, and it's one of the best things to go do. It's one of the best things you could ever go create. So I'm actually gonna go through the two different kinds. And just a quick high level of what I'm talking about here. I got to help write the concepts and the themes of the Expert Secrets book. I was one of the editors for the Traffic Secrets book, for .com Secrets book. I actually wrote a chapter, I wrote a section inside of Russell's Expert Secrets book. I was able to write the endorsement on the traffic. If you open the cover, it's my name right there, like endorsing the book. I love those things, but you have to know, like, that was a ton of work, okay? That's a ton of work. That's massive amounts of work. That was 300 pages per book, and we're going back. I mean, huge process. I'm going to talk more about that. But then I also want to caveat, there's other types of business books that are out there. And I've said this out there in the past, like, man, writing books is crazy hard. And someone will say, Steve, you could have your business book done in the next 2 weeks. That's not. I hate that kind of business book, okay? That's the kind of book I'm going to throw rocks at. I'm not saying it's terrible. I just don't want to write like that. So it's the kind of book where you open. How many of you guys have bought a book, and we're going to go to the whiteboard in a second, but how many of you guys have bought a business book, you get it, and it's like 2 times font. It's double spaced, 120 pages, and it's like 30-point font, right? It's huge, it's massive. It's more like a book lit. And you read so fast because there's like hardly any words on each page, and they're like, here's my book. I'm like, that book sucks, okay? I don't want to write that kind of book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this whiteboard here. I'm going to walk through the 2 different ways that I see people using business books the most, and which way that I think is the best. All right, so these are the 2 types of books that I like to see. There's 2 reasons I see people write a book. One is because they want a legacy. They're like, I'm going to go put a book out that is a legacy, that teaches exactly how good I am, that shows that I'm awesome at it, that shows what I've learned and enters the lexicon of all the books that are suggested out there to friends and family. Right? That's the kind of book I love. There's another book that is also good, but it's leads, and it's only leads. And because of that, some of the content can be just kind of light. Right? I don't like that kind of book. You're basically reading a sales message. But I want to walk through real quick and just kind of show the processes of what it takes to put that kind of thing together. I've been heavily involved in this many times for big books that are very famous. I've not been as involved in this one because of some of the things I hate about it. So I'm going to dive into it. So the first thing you're going to do if you are going to go create like an Expert Secrets book, right? A book that is, Ready, Fire, Aim, Think and Grow Rich. These are the books that have, they get passed around, and they get passed around time. And people know how amazing they are, right? That's the kind of book that I'm interested in. Now, just understand, this is quite the project. This is a big deal, right? This isn't the same thing as over here where you write a book just for leads and you transcribe a sales message. Okay, the first step in creating a book that is for legacy, not that it can't be for leads too, but I mean a thick book, right? That's 200, 300 pages and is doesn't look like it's been 5,000 times spaced. You know what I'm saying? I hate those kinds of books, man. They drive me crazy. The first step though in this is, number 1, you need to create your framework. Okay. Now, creating your framework, what is your framework? Your framework is nothing more than the process you use to get results. Okay, so the process that you use to get results. So I have a 12-part framework. And this framework allows me to go out and say, hey, look, with like 80 to 90% confidence rate, if you just do these steps, you typically get that result, right? That's a cool book. Those are fun books to go out and actually push and publish. But the mistake is when people start writing a book when they only have the framework. Okay, that's not what happens. When I was working at ClickFunnels, one of the first things I ever noticed was that whenever Russell is writing the next book, this is the steps, right? This is the order itself. He goes, first of all, I'm gonna look at my notes every once in a while here, okay? He says, first of all, I'm gonna create the framework, and what it usually involves is Russell and I would stand in his office, and we take these yellow pad pieces of paper, and we would just start collecting thoughts And we would say, here's the first thought, here's the next thought, and we'd walk around the framework in the room. And we'd start putting down, okay, this thought has to do with this, and let's organize them now. And this one goes before that one, right? So there's a lot of organization that comes into this phase. I'm going to create my framework, I'm going to organize it, make sure it's teachable, and then step 2 is to actually test the framework. And it's easy to see when somebody doesn't test their own framework, and they just go straight to book writing. So how do we test your framework? Okay, we test the framework through various ways. For the Expert Secrets book, I got a message from Russell one day, and he goes, dude, do you want to come hang out? I'm going through all of the different parts and pieces of the new Traffic Secrets book. Do you want to come hang out? We'll do our yellow pad paper thing on the floor again. And I was like, heck yeah. Or I use yellow pads, he uses whites. So I get in there, and I sit down in his office with him, and all the floor is everything's pushed back, and there's a big space in the floor. And there's all these different pieces of paper all throughout. And we started sitting down and saying, you know what, this concept really goes before that concept. This one goes before this concept. This is one of the last concepts. Let's take that down. And we just started playing this big jigsaw puzzle with principles, with a framework. Okay? And once we've done that, the reason why he was like, do you want to come hang out and brainstorm on this is because he had an event the next week. So one of the best ways to test your book is to throw an event and teach it. Okay, test the framework. And Russell and myself, I've done this the most with events, live events. And what are your slides? What are you teaching? This. You're teaching this. And while you're teaching it at the event, oh my gosh, don't fall in love with it. I had a teacher in college. He always taught us that whenever we're creating products, the worst thing we can do is create the product and hand it off to the dream customer and look at the product. He used to shoot us in the face with a water bottle and say bad kitty whenever he did that. True story, okay? He'd be like, bad kitty! What we had to do is we had to hand the product off and look at their eyes. Because if we looked at their eyes and they were handing them the product, they grabbed the product and we would watch them go, ugh. You know, we're like, ah, cool. And we would watch their eyes and go, wait, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Oh my gosh, oh. And you start testing the framework, and you do the same thing in events. You're testing the framework, gathering feedback, so you can go back and you can tweak the book. Feedback and tweak, right? That's really what's happening. So that's what I do in I have a studio. We've done 14 events now out of it. I have a studio, and what I've been doing for the last 4 years is testing the same framework over and over and over and over. And I'm throwing events, and I'm watching people's eyes. So when someone just gets that glazed over look, oh, right? I'm like, oh crap, this person is completely lost in the sauce. They have no idea what's going on, and this is not going to end well. Okay? So we test the framework, and then finally what we do is we repeat back and forth. It's not uncommon to throw another event to test the tweaks, and then the final part is to actually write the book. And for those who have had the most success, they write the book publicly. Okay. I don't know if they still publicly, but they write the book publicly, meaning they're talking about it. Writing the book, that's easily the tweaking and all that stuff. I mean, that can be 1 month if you're way fast, but usually it's 2 to 3 to 4, 6 months. Not uncommon. I've heard 12 months to write the book. I'm saying this so that there's a lot of expectation on what it takes to write a book that really can actually be your legacy. Hey guys, before I talk about one of the easiest ways to write a book that is straight just for leads, I'd love to know in the comments down below what's one of the books that has been the most impactful for you in your business. What book you're like, man, this book has made me the most money in my company. I think it'd be cool for us to all see that down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. We actually put these videos out every morning. All right, guys, I want to transition real quick here because this is a lot. It takes a lot. And for those of us who want to create a book, I keep thinking, man, I want to write a book that gets put in colleges to talk about marketing. That's hard, man. That's hard. And it's a totally different intent. Let's go to the intent where you just want leads. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not a huge fan of, I don't like reading those kinds of books, but they work. They work really, really well. Step number one, what do we do? Step number one is to figure out how your product sells. So it's all about the product, right? And you're trying to get leads for the product. So you're trying to figure out the question, how does my product sell? Number two, all you're going to do is you're going to transcribe the sales message, literally, okay? All right, now the big key secret with this is that to make sure you're not transcribing an unworking sales message. I know I've said this before, but think about this. How many of you guys like Black Friday? Right? I don't like Black Friday. Buying things Black Friday, massive discounts, right? It's cool, but it's just such chaos. when I know that I can go the next week and just also buy it. You know what I mean? That drives me crazy. I don't like it. But some of you do. And some people like buying through emails, and some people like buying through phones, and some people like buying through webinars, and some people, okay, there's all these ways to purchase. And so you have to think of writing a book for lead gen in the same fashion. I'm going to go write a book. I'm going to transcribe and deliver my proven sales message in another way that just happens to be a book. This is a common way to write books quickly. You just take what has already been selling and getting the sales for you and your company, and all you're going to do is now deliver the sales message in a book. In fact, this is very common in old school direct response marketing days where they're like mailing letters to people. What's cool about it is as soon as the internet was publicly available, they just took the same sales letter that they were literally mailing and they just put it on the internet. Same sales message, different delivery. Okay, same thing here. It's same sales message, different delivery. And all you happen to be doing is delivering it inside of a book here, okay? So how does my product sell? You figure that out, and then you transcribe the sales message. Number 3, edit it. And then all you're gonna do is step number 4 here is you're gonna use it to capture leads and sell things that are just beyond the book. So what I've seen a lot of people do with this, in fact, I was just hanging out with Alex Hormozy over at, anyway, we're hanging out together, and he has these super cool books that he likes to put out that are more about, they're so cheap, right? They're really good books, but they're so cheap, and the purposes of their leads, right? This is a common strategy where you take the sales message, you edit the book, and then step number 4, you're using it as lead gen. You're using it as lead gen opportunities that say, hey, come get this, but it's really so that we can get on the phone with you, or you can read the sales message and boom. In direct response, old school marketing days, a lot of times when you purchase, actually they do this on infomercials as well. Call now for your information packet. What's the information packet? It's a sales message. Okay, that's all it is. They took the sales message and now they slap info packet on the top of it, so you read it, you consume the sales material, and now you're ready to buy. Treating the book the exact same way, fantastic strategy. I just, as the artist in me, wants to do this one more. Hey, before you go anywhere, I got a free gift for you. Go to launchforprofit.com. Launchforprofit.com is a site where you'll be able to put your email in and download a little booklet, okay? A booklet that talks about some of my favorite campaign strategies on the internet. So if you have a book or you're planning on putting a book together, knowing how it sells is as important as the book itself. And so that guide is free for you. Launchforprofit.com is in the description and in the first comment.